Philosophers have said that there are only 7 stories we keep repeating throughout history. Tonight, we're gonna pick one and tell it again. This is The Treatment, a podcast about stories with your hosts, Billy Beck, Cody Beck, and Mark Lucas. The Treatment is filmed instead of a live studio audience.
Correct.
I really wish that I had the wherewithal to edit in fading applause at the beginning of every episode.
Like before or after the intro?
Kind of throughout, but underneath.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like a sitcom.
Yeah.
So before we begin, I have a review from our last film, Brotherhood, or The Untimely Death of Connor. This is the review from the Chicago Sun-Times. In its own sloppy, raunchy, sophomoric, occasionally self-pleased, and consistently energetic way, Brotherhood, or The Untimely Death of Connor, is just about perfect at executing its mission, which is to poke fun at its stars, exhaust every R-rated possibility to get a laugh, and even sneak in a few insights into Hollywood, celebrity culture, and the nature of faith. 10 out of 10.
Man, we really the Beatles'd them because we didn't intend any of those critiques on Hollywood, but there they were.
It's incredible. And I think we can do it again. So, Bill, what is on the wheel, the spinning circle of stories this week?
This week on the spinning circle of stories are Cinderella, the Itsy Bitsy Spider, the Iliad, the Boy Who Likes Clowns, the Brave Little Tailor, Rip Van Winkle, Snow Queen, Pandora, and Beowulf. Shall we give it a spin? And the timing of this always sounds weird on the edit because all the silence just gets cut. Rip Van Winkle.
Ooh, I'm 2 for 2 right now. I'm on a hot streak. This is one of mine, right?
The wheel doesn't love me anymore.
This is one of yours.
Okay, so I have to try and tell the story of Rip Van Winkle from memory, while Cody looks it up on Wikipedia to correct the stuff I get wrong and add the stuff I forget. So the story of Rip Van Winkle is the story of a man named Rip Van Winkle. He lives somewhere in upstate New York, and he has kind of a bitch of a wife. And one day, I want to say it's like 1760, he goes into the woods by the mountains. And while he's there, he encounters some old Dutchmen who are dressed really funny, like old-timey even by their standards. But these weird old Dutchmen recognize Rip, and they're like, "Hey, buddy, come on, we're carrying these kegs up into the mountains. Help us carry them." And Rip's like, "Hey, anything's better than working." So he helps them carry the kegs up into the hills, where they meet more weird old-timey Dutchmen who seem to know Rip. And together they drink their weird Dutch liquors and play weird Dutch bowling games, and Rip has so much fun that he ends up falling asleep. When he wakes up, he has a long white beard, and he's an old man, and the mysterious Dutchmen are gone. He stumbles his way down the mountain and out of the woods and into town where everything is totally different, including the fact that he doesn't know, but it's like 1790 now, and he missed the entire revolution and starting of a new country, and only a few people recognize him as, "Hey, aren't you that guy who used to live here like 20 years ago?" But the good news is, his bitch wife is dead. Did I hit all the main points, Cody?
I caught a mistake.
Oh?
Right at the beginning.
Oh?
Pretty sure it's North Carolina, not New York.
Really?
Cody, can you confirm? Because it came up in Cold Mountain.
It is the Catskill Mountains.
It is the Catskills. Mm-hmm. What the fuck came up in Cold Mountain then?
I think maybe Rip Van Winkle just because he sleeps for a very long time.
Maybe, because there was like a reference to... whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yes, you pretty much hit all of the main points. The only thing you missed is that the only people who recognize him are his daughter and an old woman.
And also, I think I missed the part where the weird old Dutchmen are ghosts from an East India Company ship.
Yes, he learns via a village elder that the men he met in the mountains are said to be ghosts of the crew of a Dutch East India Company ship. His daughter takes him into her home. He resumes his usual idleness, unconcerned by the major political changes, and begins telling his story to every stranger who visits the village. The tale is solemnly taken to heart, especially by the old Dutch inhabitants who say that whenever thunder is heard, the men in the mountain are playing ninepins.
So, this is one of those Washington Irving stories that are a little bit weird. There's a little bit of a spooky element to it, what with them being ghosts and whatnot. And I think there's a lot of different ways we could take this story. I think that the most important concept in the story of Rip Van Winkle is him being put into a magical sleep, and when he wakes up, he has missed, like, major, in this case, geopolitical events. What do we think?
The Wikipedia article states that this story was inspired by a conversation about nostalgia that Irving had with his brother-in-law, who was no longer living in the United States, but they were both in England at the time, and his brother was an expat. And so the conversation that inspired this story was a conversation about nostalgia, which I think is an interesting...
That's an interesting route to go down. In a try and do it better than Ready Player One did it kind of way.
From what you said, Mark, I'm getting, like, Big or the Bruce Willis The Kid. Because, let's be real, I don't want to talk about geopolitical events right now. We live in a trash fire. But I think we could get somewhere with the idea of getting to live your youth again. Or, you know, the fucking 17 again with Zac Efron. So it's something that's been tread before, but I think there's a lot of meat on that bone. But that's just my idea.
Real quick, I was confused because North Carolina was once referred to as the Rip Van Winkle state because their economy was shit. Everyone joked that they were asleep. And there's a reference to that in Cold Mountain.
Wow, that's fucked up.
That's hilarious. Anyway, so I'm thinking if we're going to do something about nostalgia, should we set it in modern times with people our age so we can talk about our own nostalgia or use our own reference points for our generation? Or...
You know what's sticking to me right now is... Oh god, what's the guy's name? I used to know it. The Woodstock guy.
Oh.
Devlin?
I know who you're talking about.
Duke Devlin.
The guy we met? Duke Devlin?
Yes, Duke Devlin.
Oh, okay, I thought you were talking about the guy who, like, did the thing played by the guy in that movie with Demetri Martin, but no, the guy we knew.
For the viewers who don't know the legend of Duke Devlin, Duke Devlin is a man who, like many people in 1969, came to Bethel, New York for the, at the time, one of the largest music festivals ever, the Woodstock Festival. Most people left, like, the second day. A lot of people left the third day. Duke never left. I think he came from, like, Arizona or something to attend this festival. And then when the festival ended, he just stuck around, picking up odd jobs in town. And he would keep an aerial photo from the concert in the back of his truck, so that whenever tourists came to look at where the Woodstock concert was, he would pull over and be like, hey, excuse me, I was there. Do you want to talk about it? Here's this picture of where everything was. Eventually, they built a full-on Woodstock museum at the place and gave the guy a job just telling the story about it. And I think, unironically, he has the best job in the world. Remember that one cool weekend from high school? We'll pay you to tell people how cool it was.
When you and I met him, oh god, 15 years ago now, he told us they're paying him, but he would do it for, was it Twinkies and Yoo-Hoo?
Yes.
So, that actually gives me an idea.
Okay.
If we want to bring in the hint of a spooky element, what if it's like Rip Van Winkle, the character, whatever we do with nostalgia, he's the replacement for a previous version of himself, who's like basically the caretaker of some sort of nostalgic thing.
See, I'm still thinking about, I know you said you don't want to talk about geopolitics, and I dig that, But now I'm thinking about, like, some 20-year spans in our country's history where things changed a lot. And that's basically, like, the plot of Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery.
Yeah.
So, what if we did, but it doesn't have to be today, and it doesn't even have to be that serious, but we just take, like, Mr. Clean-Cut GI from 1947. He falls asleep and wakes up, and now it's 1968. Right in the height of the summer of love.
I hate to inform you, but that was done by a major studio, and it's called Captain America.
That does not count. That is different.
I'm just saying specifically clean-cut GI from...
And he wakes up in 2010, not in 1967.
This is true. But also, I mean, he's not a public domain character, but they don't have him right now. They're not using Steve Rogers right now.
No, but they're using Captain America.
That's fine. The other thing I wanted to say is that something important in the context of the story is that while Washington Irving did actually live in the Catskill Mountains later in his life, at the time that he wrote this story, he had never even been there. So there's kind of an element of nostalgia for something that you've never even experienced. I think another thing we need to decide is, do we want to go forward or back?
Forward. I want to say, to keep it true to the story with what we do, it's got to be forward, and he has to age. I think those are non-negotiables.
I'm sorry, I thought what Cody was asking was not does he move forward or back, but are we, as the storytellers, moving forward or back? Is this going to be a future story or a past one? Is that what you were asking, Cody?
No, I was asking what Bill said. Are we talking about a forward progression or a backward progression?
Oh, then yeah, I'm with Bill. It absolutely has to be a forward progression. The forward progression, he has to miss things, and he has to be changed. He ages.
Another story that uses that kind of thing where you're accidentally traveling through time was the play On the Verge.
I don't think I saw that.
I don't think you did either. But basically, 3 women in the 1800s end up moving forward through time up to... 2 of them stay in the 1950s, and one of them continues on basically as far as she can go.
That's what that play was about?
Yes.
I couldn't understand a word anybody was saying.
Those 2 could not have picked a worse time.
I think what we need to decide first here, because I feel like the clearest way to do this as a film is the first act leads up to when he goes to sleep. The second act is fish out of water misadventures. And then the third act is him coming to terms with his identity. This is where we see the character growth and some climactic moment that's arched between the second and third act.
He has no character growth in the story. He was a shitheel in the fucking 1760s, and he sucks in the 1780s, too.
Yeah, but no one wants to see a movie where there's no character growth. There are very rare situations, you know? I mean, we can play around with it as well. But I think we need to decide on a tone, and then from there, we can find the setting that, like, the real-world historical setting that fits the tone we want to do. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The original story, to me, has a tone of, like, very light and airy and breezy horror. I mean, they made a Wishbone episode out of this, for God's sake. Like, Kids Halloween. But I think that Kids Halloween vibe is mostly tied to its setting in the Catskills in the before times.
Sure.
I think if we were to set it in the 50s to the 70s, it wouldn't have that same horror element. It wouldn't have that same light, spooky, scary skeletons of the Wishbone Halloween episode.
I'm just going to throw the idea out there. We don't have to do it, but a racist man falls asleep in the city pre-white flight and then wakes up post-white flight.
A man falls asleep in 1922 in LA when we have the greatest transit system in the world.
Wakes up the fucking freeways.
He accidentally fell asleep in Dodger Stadium.
Fell asleep in Chavez Ravine and woke up under Dodger Stadium. Oops.
All right, I'm going to throw Bill a bone here. Maybe this might be a direction. What's... No. Okay, let's make a movie about the Dallas Cowboys. He falls asleep right as they're about to win a Super Bowl. He wakes up now. Or is there some other some similar sports story that fits this?
What's the gap, 30 years?
20.
20? No, I wrote 30.
Yeah, I said 30, but I was wrong.
You said 30, it is 20? Okay. If it were 30, Manchester United...
It's, from what I'm reading in the Wikipedia, it is 20 years, but the beginning and the end are kind of fuzzy.
Gotcha.
So it's a solid 20 years, but we don't know when they start or end.
All right, we can have him croak in the early aughts in Manchester as a Man United fan, and then he wakes up and finds out that the noisy neighbors, Manchester City, have won 6 of the last 7 Premier League titles.
I coughed through that. Do you want to say that again?
No.
I'm willing to do a spiteful sports story, but I'm not willing to do soccer.
Okay, well, you're going to hate this idea. Women's soccer in the U.S.
We want people to see this movie, though.
Lesbians. We're targeting the lesbians.
Okay, so we'll have a budget of $20.
And a carabiner. It's fine.
We'll get to keep the $20 that all the millennials pass around for a while, and then we'll give it right back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if sports is the right answer, because that's like a one-note joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, that could definitely be something we throw in.
Like, it needs to be a drastic change, because I think the meat would be in the drastic change of the setting. Like, in the story when it comes down from the mountain and everything's completely different. We could even do, like, an industry town. Detroit.
Have we tapped out Silicon Valley yet? Do we want to talk about the tech boom from the 60s to the 80s?
Or do we want to do it from the aughts to now? Where the aughts, it was like innovation in how the world worked, and now it's just like, I'm out of ideas, but let's force feed everyone everything.
I'm gonna back Cody up on her statement earlier that I don't want it to be now, because that's too sad.
Fair.
That's
yeah, a little bit bleak.
We're too fucked. Let's. That's why I threw out like the 60s, man, far out, and not like Rocco's Basilisk now. But I think, just to get some things nailed down, the tone is light, right?
Yeah.
I think
a little bit of humor, a little bit of drama, but not too far either way.
We're doing big, but he actually ages, but doesn't grow up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like the vibe of a 90s Disney family movie.
Yeah.
Except he's a man when he falls asleep. He's an old man when he wakes up. Like it's not a child walking around with a beard.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing with like the tone of Big. That's like it's fun and lighthearted, but still kind of horrifying if you scratch the surface a little.
Yeah.
Our guy he's a stockbroker and he's wealthy. And we just need to I'm not settled on the full details yet, but after he wakes up, whatever his stock was in crashed super hard. And now he has to learn to live without money in a new era as an old man. Like, he's trying to job hunt as an old man. So, like, if
I was thinking in the other direction, he's an artist. And before going to sleep, he has just a couple of works. And then he disappears for, like, 20 years. And when he emerges again, we thought he was dead. We can't really prove that this new guy is him. But he's like, I painted that. And that's not the sole focus. That's just, like, part of it.
No, but that's good. No, I like where your head's at. That's good.
I like that idea, especially considering, like, we can play with the animosity between him and his wife, and maybe that animosity came from the fact that he was an artist and she was more of a business person. And when he disappeared, she kind of spun that mystery and built this generational wealth based on his, like, disappearance.
But now she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, she's the only one who could have confirmed that he really is the painter, but she's dead, so...
Yeah.
I like this road. I think this is the road.
And I kind of like that idea of, like, 40s to 60s for that, because that would have been, or maybe even 60s to 80s, because 60s was, like, when you had all the people like Picasso and Warhol and that kind of shit. Like, they were doing their weird shit.
I was thinking exactly Warhol for our Rip Van Winkle. Rip Van Warhol. There's the title.
I was thinking he's a Pollock style and it's Drip Van Winkle.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Love you, Cody.
You can finish the rest of this without me.
All right, so now I almost said something horrible.
Just to the old Dutchman. I think so setting. I'm thinking New York.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, it's got to be like big city where artsy types exist.
Yet New York 60s.
I kind of want the old Dutchmen to still be ghosts, but instead of Dutch liquors and candlepin bowling, it's drugs. It's just weird party drugs.
The old Dutchmen are classical painters. Like, you got your Vermeers, your Van Goghs, your Da Vinci's.
Yes. The old masters.
I can't even think of the Ninja Turtles' names to make the Ninja Turtle joke I want to make.
Donatello,
Raphael, Leonardo, all the
Master
turtles.
Splinter.
Super Shredder. We saw that Super Shredder exhibit at LACMA the one time.
are you gonna make me walk away within 2?
But anyway, yeah, so the ghosts are classical painters, the legends. And they're feeding him absinthe and shit, which was still illegal in New York in the 60s.
I also think we can play with that, whereas, like, he just thinks they're people in costumes. That's how they all know his name, etc. But are they actually these?
He meets them at a party.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, what is a kind of party where someone would go to alone and end up talking to ghosts? It's a New Year's Eve party.
Yep.
So, I mean, let's hammer out the bones before we go back and get the story in place. So, like, a youngish up-and-comer in the art world in New York in the 60s. He has a couple of works that we'll figure out later, and his young wife is... they bicker constantly because she has a head for business, and he's just the art guy.
I wouldn't even be as specific as she has a head for business. I would say, like, she's the breadwinner in the household, and she's tired of it.
Yes, okay. And she wants him to get a fucking job already.
He either needs to get a job or he needs to get inspired real fast.
Yes. Maybe he has some art friends, Picasso and Warhol and whatnot. Then he goes to, after I guess after a fight with his wife, he goes to a New Year's party where he unwittingly encounters the ghosts of the old masters who lead him away to what they say is the after party to get him away from everybody else. And that's when they feed him absinthe and acid. And he passes out for 20 years. So when he wakes up, he's an old man with a long white beard. And then what happens?
I think he would... This is the scene that's already, like, I can picture it. He stumbles out of whatever, like, basement club that they took him to and starts walking back towards where he knows his home. And a lot of the buildings will look the same, but, like, the posters and the graffiti will be more 80s, stuff like that. And then I want him to walk by either through Central Park, through that art museum, or by another art museum, and see his name on a marquee.
Okay.
And... like, that's the image is him looking up at, like, they have the banners between the columns and in front of the art museum, and his name is across it, and then prints of his 2 pictures are on the sides of the banner, and then he goes in and looks at his own exhibit where his 2 or 3 existing paintings are, and then there's a hall of art inspired by his after his mysterious disappearance.
There's even a thing that's like fragmented work, and it's like his unfinished sketches and like his palette.
His diary is on display with like
my bitch wife.
Yeah, various like things highlighted, but not like the bad things about his wife.
Yeah.
Maybe he even notices, like, he goes back there later and notices that one of his diary entries has been edited. He's like, I didn't write that. I wrote something completely different. But that could be part of a B-plot later.
I think I just want to spread that out a bit, that I don't think he goes to the museum the first day. I think the first day he's hungover, and all of a sudden all of my bones ache in a way I've they never did before. Like, he doesn't go to the museum until a day or two later. Does that make sense?
Yeah. In that case, the first time he walks by it and the audience sees it.
The audience sees it, and maybe throughout we see some people with, like, tote bags.
Like little flyers in, like, bodega windows.
Yeah. And, like, one guy has it on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So, before he goes to the museum, though, he tries to go home, and he can't. It's either the building itself isn't there anymore, the doorman doesn't, it's a new doorman, doesn't let him in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know everybody who lives in this building, pal.
He sneaks in the back way, gets to his apartment, and his key doesn't fit in the lock.
Yeah.
And then he figures, oh, she changed the locks on me, that bitch.
He knows how to shimmy the lock, though.
Because she keeps changing the locks on him.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want him to do that yet. I think that needs to come later.
He's like, you know what? Fine, I'll just go over to Warhol's.
No, so wakes up hungover, goes to the apartment, sneaks in, checks the lock. She changed the locks. I gotta get something to eat. Goes to the bodega to get a bagel and whatever New Yorkers eat, and balks at the price. Like, $2.50? I paid $1 for this yesterday. Sure you did, pal. And then that's just more hints and clues.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, eventually he goes back and then tries to shimmy the lock in. Like, that evening.
I think, yeah, he should go outside, sit on, like, a park bench and be eating his thing, and he should start noticing the weird way people are dressed. He's like, man, I guess a lot of people are coming home from costume parties.
Someone thinks he's homeless and tosses a quarter in, and then he looks at the date, and it's, like, 1974. And he's like, what the fuck?
No, it's a bicentennial quote.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, it's like, man, 7 years out, already printing those, huh?
Instead of commenting on it, he asks somebody about it. Hey, what's this? You're giving me a fake quarter. That's not fake, that's a bicentennial. Remember? That was like 10 years ago? Man, I don't know what that guy's smoking. 10 years ago?
So, maybe we could do one more stop around the city. Or maybe he just sits at the park and, like, sketches or something.
He's like, she'll be at work till whatever. I'll go home.
Yeah. So in the evening, he goes back, tries the door.
He notices how, like, cars are different now, too.
I would say, like, this, like, he's slowly noticing things as he's walking down the street. Like, that's different. That's new.
Yeah, it's more and more, like, he's noticing stuff and trying not to notice stuff, which is why he goes to the park and just, like, starts sketching.
Yeah. So that evening, he goes back, turns the knob, doesn't open, knocks, and a stranger opens the door. And he asks for Nancy.
Yeah.
And the person who opens the door has no idea who Nancy is. They've lived there for 6 years. And the person before them was named Rick, right? So...
They're like, if you're... Like, I don't know how you got in here, but go see the manager. You must have the wrong number.
Yeah. So then he goes back outside, finds a stoop to sleep on, and then gets arrested for vagrancy and gets booked. And when he gets booked, they ask him what his name is. And he tells them his name. And all the cops laugh. And he's like, why is that so funny? It's like, oh, you're Rip Van Gogh? Yeah, well, I'm Mozart. And I'm Steve Rogers, Captain America. Like, oh, why are you making fun of my name? Like, we get it. You went to the art museum today. Put him in cell 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Just write down John Doe.
I feel like there should also be a third joke that's like, it would have been a pop culture thing in... Like, one of them is like, yeah, and I'm Andy Warhol. Yeah, I'm friends with him. What do you...
No, you're not Andy. I know Andy.
Yeah. Like, call him! And they're like, that's funny.
And the guy who says that is doing a Rubik's Cube. I think we landed on 86, so... I think we're good.
So, at some point, we do need to have... In the story, it's his daughter. We do need to have someone come claim him. I think there needs to be one cop who's like, no, this guy is, like, genuinely upset. Let's call whatever. What's the harm in calling the daughter? She'll know.
You know what? How about he doesn't get arrested for vagrancy? He gets arrested for trespassing. So, back in the apartment, they slam the door in his face and tell him, if you don't get out of here, I'm calling security, you know?
Mm.
And you've got this crazy man saying, I used to live here. Where's my wife? The police drag him out and book him. Meanwhile, like, the manager or the super or the doorman, somebody figures, hey, doesn't that guy remind you of like one of the older residents? Doesn't he remind you of that guy who used to live here? Oh, none of you were here then. Well, let's see if I've got that little girl's name in my Rolodex still. And that's when his daughter comes to bail him out.
Does he know he has a daughter?
He does know he has a daughter.
In this original?
Yes.
I'm asking, does he in this one?
Ah.
Because that's another thing. Because I feel like part of the expanding on this story needs to be he proves he's him. We've established that he's a groundbreaking painter. He needs to prove it. And it's a lot harder for him to do that if he disappeared before his daughter was born. And maybe that's why his wife had the blow up. She found out she was pregnant that morning.
Yeah.
And she was born in like May or June.
I will say that will cut out the possibility of the young version of him. Because he does have a son as well.
Well, Mark didn't bring up any of this.
I thought I mentioned the son. I'm sorry.
I didn't say Cody. I said Mark.
Well, Mark's an idiot, okay? Sometimes he forgets. Sometimes he forgets he's talking about him.
We don't have to include that element. I'm just saying we are cutting off that element if we do that, which I do like that. Because the other thing is it's a random old woman that recognizes him. What if it's his sister-in-law? She had a sister, and she's the only living one, and they only met, like, once or twice. But she would still be able to, like, proof positive identify him.
We need to keep her away until the climax, though.
Yeah.
So maybe because I'm thinking how to get him out of the drunk tank. And the daughter seems like the right answer. Because she'd be, like, 20.
Yeah.
Probably wealthy off of his money.
Yeah.
So we'd be able to come and bail him out.
Yeah. I think she also needs to be just, like, a nice person, and she's willing to come and bail out a homeless person that uses her dad's name, even if it's not necessarily her dad.
Yeah, we have some dialogue in there.
I want to say she's like a student at Columbia or NYU.
Yeah, because obviously the oldest she could be is 19.
Yeah. I'm thinking as they're leaving, he's saying something like, oh, so you're really my daughter, huh? I didn't even know she was pregnant. You can drop the charades, sir. Like, I appreciate you being a fan of my father's work. This happens more often than you'd think. I'm happy to bail you out. Just
But
you don't have to keep up the charade, you know?
Yeah, he needs to say something that piques her attention, because I do think they'll separate at that time. Because I think they'll need to come back together later.
Yeah.
But he needs to say something, like, use a specific nickname for her mom. Or just, like, something that's a really minute detail that only someone...
Yeah, the specific nickname is what I was thinking, too.
I don't know enough.
We kind of got into some details when I think we're still in the hammering out the bones phase of this story.
Oh, we're grouting wet tile tonight.
Yeah, I want to start, like, getting real scenes, but we can't do that until I know the whole outline.
Okay.
So, daughter bails him out.
It all seems pretty clear in my head here. So, daughter bails him out. He says something that piques her interest that only he could know. She brings up Aunt Jenny, could verify, and he's like, oh yeah, Jenny. But she's out on a cruise or on vacation or out of the state. She won't be back until next week.
I'm. This is my Simpsons love talking very loud. I want there to be two sisters-in-law, like Patty and Selma.
Okay.
And that's part of the dynamic. They always hated him because he's a schmo.
Okay.
And right now they're on a, right now they're touring Egypt.
Yeah, I like that.
And this is where we get what you had said about the museum. Daughter suggests he go to the museum.
Yeah, she's got to go to class, but check out the exhibit.
Yeah, it's only here for a couple more days.
Yeah, before it moves on to Paris.
Yeah. Or it moves on to Amsterdam.
Back to the Louvre.
Yeah.
So this is where we have the scene where he checks out his exhibit, maybe finds changes to his stuff, maybe not. I'm not sure if that's a plot thread we want to go down yet. This is the fish out of water bit from there. Adjusting to... It's that scene in Austin Powers where he's watching History Channel and crossing off the list of his friends who all died and how they died. It's that bit. So maybe we can have
Yes.
him check out, like, Warhol stuff and, like, Dali, he probably knew. Although Dali was still alive. But, like, that, batch of painters. Who was the pointillist? No, it wasn't a pointillist guy. I'm thinking of a Vonnegut.
Dali's cross-off has just got too weird.
I feel like that, again, sorry, Mark, getting a little in the nitty-gritty, but I don't want to lose the idea. He should get distracted by seeing there's a Warhol wing. And he goes and looks at those, and then he's like, oh, I was going to my stuff. And he, like, kind of just wanders through all of these old friends.
I think that's the second time he goes to the museum. First time he goes, and he's just there to learn about himself. And then, like, stuff around New York. Like, experiences a breakdancer for the first time. Goes to a modern movie. Goes to a club.
Everything's integrated. How wild.
Tries cocaine. Probably at the club. Like, sees somebody talking on a cell phone, has an experience with that. Like, I'm just thinking of, like, modernities of the mid to late 80s.
Shoulder pads.
Yeah.
So many shoulder pads.
At the club, somebody tries to hand him, like, a fancy cocktail that looks like the absinthe. And he's like, no, you're not getting me with that again. Fool me once, shame on you.
Yes. And then I think he should see something that reminds him of, like, his art friends to go, like, check in on them. And that's when he starts getting, like, more down about everyone's been deadified. Goes to the art museum again, Warhol exhibit.
When did Warhol die?
80s, I think. Actually, he might have lived through the 80s as
87. And what was the reason of his death?
Cocaine.
You're just saying that to be funny. Because it might be interesting, I was going to ask, does he meet the ghosts of any of his old friends?
Cardiac arrhythmia after gallbladder surgery.
Ah, that's not even cool.
I think we can do something where he meets the ghosts of his old friends, like, towards the end.
I think the museum is the place to do it. So anyway, he goes back to the museum. Now I guess we're getting into Act 3. What's the climax?
Yeah, I'm a little bit stuck on how to do this part, but I want him to have to prove he's him. A la, the end of The Miracle on 34th Street, when they bring in all the letters to Santa that proves he's Santa Claus? Like, something like a sketch or some sort, not trial, but, like, he has to provide some sort of proof to the art curator at the museum who would verify if something is real or not. Like, he has to basically produce one of his own pieces of art in order to lay claim to what he's, like, basically his fortune, so to speak.
So here's a thought. Go ahead, Cody.
I was just going to say, what if he confirms a detail that is, like, well known to his friends and himself, but it's not, like, officially documented? Like, oh, this is a sketch of my wife. Like, something like that that's, like, only he would know.
I was gonna say, like, one of the pieces is a portrait of her, but disguised.
Yeah.
Instead, the thing about verifying if he really is the artist falls to the sisters-in-law who hate him. And in the climax, they don't. They recognize him and deny him just out of spite. And instead of getting the millions of dollars and whatnot, he gets kind of well known as a great impersonator of that artist. So instead of the billions of dollars, he gets, like, a handsome little career making paintings as people's souvenirs. And he lives a happy but lazy life with the daughter, who knows who he really is now.
Because what's important to him isn't the wealth, it's the family. And maybe he even gets his own, like, first gallery opening, and they refer to him as the next Rip Van Gogh.
No, they refer to him as Rip Van Gogh, because that's not his name, and we haven't been calling him that this whole time. Like, we come up with a real name for him.
Yeah.
But then at the end, we do call him Rip Van Gogh. His working name post-time skip is Rip Van Gogh.
Yeah. We'll come up with a real name for him.
So now that we have this outline, these bones, we can go all the way back to the beginning and start hashing out specific scenes. How does this one begin? What is the intro?
It's gotta be paint being laid on canvas. That's gotta be how we get into this.
It's a little bit late in time for it, But I really like the image of starting with, if we can kind of make an artistic balance of Rhapsody in Blue, the song?
Mm-hmm.
Rhapsody in Blue with the city waking up, with him starting a new painting.
Yeah.
I think that's like the intro between the credits, sunrise over the Manhattan skyline, squeezing paint onto a palette, feet going into boots, feet walking onto the subway, brush going into paint,
Mm-hmm.
traffic filling up Times Square, people running in and out of buildings, paint being applied,
It's like an image is starting to take shape.
starring.
Yeah. Opening credits over all that.
Yeah.
Right into that. I would say our character is this is the morning after the deed that did the deed. So he's in a chipper mood. His wife gets out of bed, she's in a chipper mood, gives him a hug and a kiss, off to the women's work factory. What did women do for money in the 60s? Secretary?
Work factory is correct.
The diner.
I'm just thinking like a wage to support two people in New York City, although the 60s were a much different time. So it could be a diner, could be maybe she works at the bank teller.
Yeah, I can see that. Something.
When she kisses him while leaving for work, she tells him, "Get a job today. Go out and look for work, okay?
Yeah.
When you finish this masterpiece, start sending out applications, huh? No, that's a more modern way of getting jobs. Just when you finish with this masterpiece, start looking for a job.
Yeah.
Smooch, bye."
Like I'll keep an eye out for help wanted signs on my way into work, because then she can reference one that evening. I would say that I want to see what his typical day looks like here. So what is his routine? Like after he finishes his painting, he goes down, gets a coffee and a bagel, heads over to Andy's.
Do we do this with narration?
I don't think we need to.
Okay.
I think we can manage without. If we decide we have to in the edit bay, then we just record an ADR and move on from there. But let's plan not to.
I mean, I think that's a stylistic choice that we should have in our minds. Whether he's narrating this entire story or not.
Right. Let's plan not to.
Okay. So, he finishes painting, goes down and gets a bagel from the same place where he's going to get a bagel later.
Yep.
Goes to Andy's.
Goes to the park and has a nap. Maybe there's some early hippies doing early hippie shit.
He goes to the park and does some sketching. And he sketches until he gets tired, and then just lays down on the bench where he was sitting for the nap.
Maybe he does sketches of couples for like a couple bucks. Like he'll sketch a couple and then they'll pay him for the sketch. And we'll see the sketch from this day in the museum later.
Yes.
Labeled as like last known work or whatever.
Yeah.
One in a series.
This is September-ish, by the way. September to October-ish, where we're at right now.
Yeah. You mean as we're recording or in the story?
In the story.
Okay. For the record, it is October 2nd as we record this.
And November, that's when it comes out. So we see his typical daily routine here. He heads back home. Wife mentions, the hardware store on the corner is looking for help. Why don't you go talk to them?
He brandishes his, like, $7.
Yeah. Like, he's like, honey, when I'm short on cash, I will let you know. And he puts $10 in her hand and keeps, like, the one for himself for tomorrow's coffee and bagel.
Yeah.
Just totally loving the artistic life.
And I think we should see a repeat of that.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, like, this whole bit, I want to repeat 2 or 3 times. So once more a month down the line, month and a half down the line, and then once again around Christmas time. So we can see, like, as she's starting to devolve. And maybe the morning bit of it, like, the third time she has a little bit of morning sickness. She's less loving towards him. He brings back fewer dollars in the afternoons.
Yeah.
There's less foot traffic.
Yeah, maybe off screen he tried the hardware store, like, between the second and third time, but quit because he didn't like the hours.
No. For everything else that he is, I want our guy to be a lazy piece of shit.
Okay.
Just like Rip Van Winkle. If I can... Why do tomorrow what you can put off entirely?
Yeah. So the second time we see the morning routine, she says, "Don't forget to talk to Mr. Henderson about that job." And he's like, "On my to-do list today." And he doesn't do it.
I also think that the paintings, like the first one he completes. The second one he gives up on like 2/3 of the way through. The last one is like he's barely started to paint and he's like, whatever, I'm bored.
I think the last one doesn't get completed because he doesn't wake up to complete it. Like, we see, he does these paintings over like the course of a month or so.
Oh, okay.
So the 2 paintings that we see finished are the 2 that he starts here, and the third incomplete one is the incomplete one that he starts here. To put a button on the Mr. Henderson bit, the third time he says like, "Oh, I talked to Henderson yesterday. He said he's not hiring." And she's like, "Okay, well, I talked to him on my way home, and he was waiting for you to come in. So don't lie to me. Get a job today, or you're out." You know, morning sickness again. Because she knows now, and we need to know that she knows. Yeah, I like the idea of when he goes to the park to draw the first time because it's still fall and the weather's nice. There's a lot of people, fewer people, and then the third time it's like snowing or raining or something, and there's nobody at the park that wants his sketches. Like, everyone's just bundled up and trying to get where they're going.
Well, at that point, it's December. We're getting close to New Year's. It's snowy.
Exactly.
What if he even, like, the third time he doesn't even go to the park? He just looks at the park in the shitty weather and goes and sits in a cafe and drinks coffee.
He goes and sits in Union Station or something.
Yeah, he goes and sits somewhere warm.
Yeah. And he still does the sketch thing, but, like, way fewer people are into that when they're traveling than when they're out having a nice day with friends and family.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do we do anything with Christmas?
I think we can have a tree in the background and almost nothing underneath it on this last one.
Okay.
This is like set dressing and it's just a thought for me. There should be something under the tree and it's like a big present, like the biggest present, but it's still like pretty small. And then there's another smaller present that like represents the wife, and there should be a third even smaller present, and that's the like visual, she's pregnant, there's gonna be a third person here.
I like that.
And it's one of those things, it's just set dressing, but it's gonna like click.
Also, just a little bit to add on, the present from him to her is very clearly one of his paintings just wrapped.
Yeah.
And it ends up being one of the ones that we...
Yeah.
So then I guess they have a big blow-up fight on New Year's.
Yeah, so she's going to... Maybe she's going out with her girlfriends or something and doesn't invite him.
No, she's... They have a big fight because he's still not getting a job. Maybe the point that starts the fight is it's a new year, time for resolutions. What is your resolution? What is your New Year's resolution? I don't think I'm going to make one this year. Yes, you are. It's getting a job. You can't force it like that, babe. Yes, you can. It's called work. You do it for money. Like, that's how the fight gets going. And then she... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think another thing that we can play with is he's drinking and she's not.
Mm-hmm. Like, he's already, like, pouring himself a second glass of cheap champagne.
Yeah, and, like, it's another one of those things that, like, in retrospect, it will make sense. But at the time, it's just like, oh, she's not drinking because she's a tightwad. Or because she's too, like, tight. But, yeah.
And then he gets annoyed and is like, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Let's go to this.
Yeah.
Let's go to this party down at what's-his-face's bar.
He doesn't tell her where she's going. She storms off at the end of the fight and saying, I'm going to go stay with my sisters.
Oh, okay. The reason why I want him to say it is so that she can tell him, you can't pay, you don't have any money. And he's like, I've got ways of paying. And I don't think that bar takes sketches, is the line I wanted to have hit. But yeah, she can also be like, you go. I'll spend the New Year's with my sisters.
I think there's a better way to get that line in.
Yeah, that's a line that, like, would work. I just don't know where.
We can't pay the rent with a sketch.
That's better.
So she tells him, go off and have fun with your art boys. I won't be here when you get back. I'm going to my sister's. And then she slams the door, storms off, and he pours himself another champagne. Not champagne, champagne. It's like a malt liquor.
Yeah.
And then I think this is a cut to the party.
Yeah. So he's at the party. I would say it's at a bar, like the party at the end of the apartment. You know what I mean? There's like a
No,
bar decked out.
no, it's like a party. It's like a party in Midnight Cowboy. It's like an apartment party.
Okay.
It's at Andy's.
Okay. Yeah, it's in like his loft or. He
Yeah.
had like a thing, right? I think he had like a loft or something that was like a hot spot for 60s artists.
Yeah.
So he goes there, and there's a lot of people in costume. And
Because it's Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just art people doing art things. Who even understands or knows? So while he's there, maybe he talks to Andy about his problems. Not his problems getting a job, because, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But about how his girl's mad at him. And he's got to do something to get to win her back.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't sound like fun. That sounds like hard work.
And Andy gets pulled away by other guests as well, because he's fucking Andy Warhol, and our guy's just fucking Steve. And then a stranger sits down, dressed like an old Dutch painter, and looks over, and who are you supposed to be? I'm Vermeer, who are you supposed to be? And they strike up a chat, and then escalates from there into...
I'm Vermeer. Who are you supposed to be? That's the question, isn't it? I guess I'm still trying to figure that out. And then I'm trying to piece together more dialogue for this scene. Like, who are you supposed to be? I'm Vermeer. Who are you supposed to be? I guess I'm still trying to figure that out. Well, how do you figure? How do you get to those answers? Well, you won't find the answer in the bottom of that glass. And then some other. What's the Cody? What is the name of the artist I'm thinking of?
Raphael.
Raphael is good. I was thinking of who's the one with the big titties.
Like in the paintings, or...
Yes, in the paintings. Rubens. John Paul Rubens. You know how we describe certain body parts as Rubenesque?
Ah, yes.
That guy. You won't find the answers in the bottom of that glass. And then like a Rubens comes in from the other side. You'll find them in this one. And this is how we... he takes this other drink, smells it, cheers, he sips it, and this is how we start getting more and more.
Yeah, like it's at this point it's where we get the kind of like fun party montage where it's like everything starts to get a little blurry and a little bright and a little sparkly, and like he's hanging out with these people. At this point, it should start representing, like, the visual style should start shifting into these different painters.
I think not yet. I'm thinking of, there has to be a point where he leaves the Warhol party to go to the Ghost Party, which is the title of the film, Ghost Party, a pig party joint. When he goes to the Ghost Party, that's when things get weird. That's when we get the different art styles reflecting the different painters. And in my mind, I'm picturing that as a slightly more watchable version of the end of Easy Rider.
Where the motorcycles blow up?
No, before that, when they get to New Orleans and drop acid and the movie becomes unwatchable for like 20 minutes.
I have not seen that part of that movie.
Yeah, it's not worth seeing. It's from a period in film history where they were like, we can do anything. And then they did.
Did I ever tell you my dad pulled an Easy Rider?
No.
As far as I know, he wasn't transporting drugs, but
I'm sorry, my joke answer is yes, I've met your mom.
He drove on his bike or rode on his motorcycle across the U.S. from Pennsylvania to Santa Monica.
That is cool as hell.
High school best friend. Yeah, my dad used to be cool, and then he had me.
I still think your dad's cool. So he kind of gets involved, our painter guy, not your dad.
Yeah.
He kind of gets involved with a couple of more ghosts, but we don't know they're ghosts. And one of them tells him, hey, this party's getting kind of lame, but you're cool. Why don't you come with us to the after party? Well, I should really start going home.
No, fuck that. He doesn't want to go home.
Now, what's waiting at home for you? Another empty canvas and a mad wife?
No, she won't be there. He doesn't want to, but he knows that he should.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's at least a part of him that still remembers, hey, this is a bad idea, the thing you're going to go do. You're gonna do it, but feel a little bad about it.
A bad idea I'm about to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
That could be the tagline for this podcast.
That is a Chris Gethard book.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the ghosts of the old masters drag him to their secondary location party.
Yeah.
And this is where we do that acid trip, recreate paintings and styles.
I would even like it if this building felt like it was from another era. Like, it felt like one of the homes in Age of Innocence, like an 1890s New York, you know?
Yes.
And really throw it back.
From the outside, they're just going down like a Bilko door into a basement. But then on the inside...
Yeah. Yeah.
Until eventually the image fully just fuzzes out. And then fade to white.
The last is pointillism, and as it fades out, the points just get smaller and smaller.
Again, this might be a filmmaking thing. I want the quality of the light to be different when it comes back up. Like, I want it to be almost more fluorescent.
You want to pull a Scorsese and do the first act in like using 60s cameras, and then the second act and third using 80s cameras?
Maybe not full Scorsese, but yes.
Like some color correction,
something that makes it clear to the audience immediately something's different, but it's like just subtle enough that it's unsettling.
So not quite an aspect ratio change, but something with the color correction and the color balance to differentiate.
Yes.
I feel like the 60s is softer than the 80s is going to be harsher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we already described him waking up, attempting to break in,
making his way downtown, walk in fast, sees his wife. Walk in faster.
I think part of seeing him waking up, he has a long white beard. He's bald. And as he gets up, he should, like, make a lot of noise.
Like, creaky noise?
bones popping.
I can't keep tying him on like this.
He's rubbing his head, and then, did they shave my head? Never feels his face for the beard.
I don't think he comments on the baldness.
Okay.
I mean, from personal experience, some hangover waking ups, you prioritize things, and some of these thoughts are put it in the pile to deal with later, because right now I need some water and maybe an Advil.
Yeah.
So just feel head, deal with that later. Oh man, my knees hurt so bad, and my back. What did I sleep on? Where the hell am I?
And at this point, I wanted to just be completely barren where he is. Just raw, like the under construction house in Home Alone 2.
See, I was thinking similar lines, the house that he lives in Fight Club.
Yeah. Barely lived in. No one's really taken care of the place for years.
Clearly condemned.
Yeah.
There's like a little magical realism in the sense of like, why did no one disturb this particular house for 20 years? The magic of the art ghosts.
And then we already described about how he goes out, walks down the street. Some people, some flyers in a bodega window of one of the paintings we saw earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Taxi drives by and he stops and watches it because it looks different. Doesn't say anything, just watches it go by.
Mm-hmm.
Shakes his head, keeps walking.
That part can even happen right in front of the art museum with his big fucking name behind it, and he just is oblivious to it.
Yeah. The one at the museum is a bus with those, like, big ads on the side.
Uh-huh.
Because he's not used to seeing buses like that.
Yeah. He walks by a newspaper box, and we see that it's got something about, like, Reagan and Gorbachev.
Mm-hmm.
When did they start printing papers in Russian?
No, something about Reagan, and he's like, I didn't like his last movie.
The actor?
What was he doing in the 60s? He was like an ad man for like cigarettes for a while or some shit.
Imagining crimes is what he was doing in the 60s.
Getting his goat throated.
So then we already said goes back to the apartment, can't get in. That scene at the deli, getting a bagel, outraged at how expensive it is. The thing with the quarter.
Yeah. Going to the park to sketch.
I know we did something with the quarter, but do we want somebody to tip him a $5 and him to be like, damn?
No, I think the quarter is cleaner.
Okay.
Because even in the 80s, nobody's giving a homeless guy $5.
Fair.
Is it January 1st when he wakes up?
I don't think it has to be.
Okay. I'm trying to get time of year. Is it like spring? I think spring would be nice.
Yeah, I think spring is good.
He's not going to be wearing a lot of clothes.
Does all his bits, goes back to the apartment, knocks, strangers, gets escorted out into the custody of New York's finest.
No, it's the cops, remember?
Shit, you're right. Why did I think it was the fireman?
One of the cops is a woman. He doesn't have to comment on it, but one of the cops is a woman, and he's like, taken aback.
He treats her with dignity and respect because she's a woman. Like, sorry, ma'am. Ma'am? Sorry, ma'am. Like, we have the bit.
Then that scene with him getting booked.
Getting booked, saying the name, everyone
What's
laughs
your
at
name?
him.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm Officer Picasso. And this is my partner, Sergeant Leonardo da Vinci.
And over there, escorting you to cell C is Vinny. Vinny Van Gogh. As in Vinny Van Gogh in that cell.
Maybe it's the lady cop that's like, don't we have that girl that we call when people use that name? Like, she kind of feels a little bad.
Maybe he yells something like, call my wife. And that's what trips her into thinking, normally they ask for a daughter, but okay. Or I don't have your wife's number, but I have your daughter's. And then she just starts dialing.
Yeah.
Also, I love how he's such an accomplished and well-known painter that it is common in New York for homeless people to pretend to be him to try and get money. Because they never found his body. He only disappeared, he never died, and some believe he's still alive.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Kayfabed it. Daughter comes, bails him out. He's surprised he has a daughter.
Yeah. He's like doing math on his fingers.
Yeah. Like, you can't be more than 20. Somebody said earlier that she's at Columbia?
Columbia or NYU?
Columbia or NYU.
What's she studying?
Art, obviously.
I think that's too obvious. Because she never knew her father.
Right,
Well,
so she'd want to be closer to him through studying art.
Yeah, okay. No, you're right. You're right. Art makes sense.
Also, it would have pissed her mother off to no end.
Oh, absolutely.
Art with a
Absolutely.
minor in public policy. So not only does she study art to piss off mom, but when she graduates, she's going to go into, like, public advocacy to
She has
piss
fuck
off
you
her
money.
mom. Yeah.
Okay. I could dig it.
And that's part of why she goes to bail out homelesses that claim to be her dad.
Yeah.
She's already kind of on track to be an art person who takes care of the poor.
So that all comes out in a conversation we'll write later.
Mm-hmm. No, we won't.
Shit. Yeah. Someone else will. We'll hire someone. She heads off to class, I assume.
After telling him, go to the museum.
Yeah, he goes to the museum for the day.
And she gives him like a 20 or something. I don't know what a realistic amount of money is in the 80s.
I mean, she's rich, so it doesn't really matter.
Fair.
Maybe even, like, she doesn't believe yet, so for somebody who claims to be my dad, you sure don't know anything about him. Go to the museum and take a look.
Yeah.
$20 in 87 is 56 today. So let's say she gives him about 10.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's closer to 30. That's
That's an amount that a rich person will be like, yeah, whatever.
Reasonable.
yeah. Yeah.
So he goes to the museum, sees his exhibit.
Maybe there's an art student there who's trying to copy it.
Yeah.
Like as an assignment.
No, you gotta hold the brush more like this. You gotta, he strikes up a conversation that's just like, no, I hold it like this.
What if he notices, like, as he's looking at, he notices somebody, like, on one of the benches sketching, and he goes over, peeks over, realizes that, like, they're sketching his work, and he's like, that's pretty good, and then the student says something incredibly derogatory. It's like, yeah, better than this bum ever painted. There's a reason he only finished 2. I think he's trash.
No. I want him to be respected.
Aw,
And
okay.
that respect needs to be, like, surprising to him.
Good point.
Maybe he even asks him, hey, what are you doing? Well, my art professor told us we've got to copy the masters. Let me tell you, it's not as easy as it looks.
It looks really simple, but there's a lot of like perspective and direction and the way the light's coming in and the shadows are playing with everything.
Or what if it's as simple as, like, I just don't understand how he got this curve with his brushstroke. And he can say something like, well, the way you're holding the pen, I think he used to hold it like this.
I think instead of he doesn't say anything, he just takes the pen and does it.
Yeah. And I would say, like, something like his grip is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's unlearned. Like, because if you're in art school, you learn the proper way to hold a brush. when the real artists just fucking make the art fuck how you're supposed to hold things.
Yeah.
You know?
And after he does, the student can be like, wow, you must be a whatever name scholar. Something like that. And then walks away because he realizes, like, this is weird. This is a weird interaction I just had. I don't want to, like, call attention to myself.
I know we cut him having a son, but what if the kid looks, like, similar to him as a youth? Like, similar to when we first meet him.
Shirtless and post-coital?
What kind of museums are you going to?
Fun ones.
Yeah. You gotta get out to LA more often.
Clearly.
But yeah, I like the idea of, like, he sees himself in this student in some way.
Yeah. And that's where he, like, walks away and maybe wanders out of the museum.
Yeah.
So what does he do after he leaves the museum, then?
I think he runs into his daughter again. Like, she's coming to the museum to see if he's still there. Because it needs to have clicked with her while she was in class that it's the first time somebody asked for her mom and not for her. Like, when she got called by the cop.
Yeah.
Like...
I think also in that conversation that they have on more or less the way to the museum, he uses some sort of nickname for her mom. I know we mentioned that earlier. I googled Dutch pet names, and one that looks like cute is Moppy. And it's specifically something that you say to a woman.
I like that as a nickname.
Mm-hmm.
Moppy.
Yeah. Moppie.
It's unique.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. Maybe that's... We first hear that when he's getting booked. Like, call Moppy. My wife. Call my wife.
Yeah. He could even call her that earlier in, like, their argument.
And that just pisses her off more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then when he's talking to the daughter on the way out of jail, he calls her that again.
Yeah. I also think he should say something to the effect of, like, wow, you look just like her.
Mm-hmm. But you got my nose.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that she has a big ol' Gerard Depardieu honker. And so does he.
Because he's played by Gerard Depardieu. So she comes back to the museum when he's finishing up, catches him on the way out, and tells him, something you said stuck with me. You called her Moppy. And I'm trying to figure out, I spent all day trying to figure out where I heard that before. And then she produces, like, a letter that was in her mom's things from him to her when they were first dating.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I have this from my mom. And he called her Moppy. No one knew that. It's like not on the thing at the museum. And when he's at the museum, I want there to be a bit where he's like seeing like a historical video in one of those like little video rooms. And they mention that he disappeared and was never found. Some people believe he's still alive. And it's a common psychosis for men to wake up from benders and think they're him.
Yes.
So that establishes all of that in that way. So she meets up with him, the Moppy thing, and invites him to stay in the guest bedroom.
Yeah. He's like, I know this is a bad idea, but...
I want, at some point, him to go through the gift shop and see people paying, like, lots of money for books and placemats and t-shirts with his paintings on it.
Yeah. I think that's the second time.
Yeah.
Because here I won... When she takes him to the house, it's a much larger house than he's expecting, and the guest room is essentially like... maybe either it's a larger house or it's like one of those old brownstones, and the guest room is just the whole first floor is his. Or the whole second floor or something.
Yeah.
You know? Either way, something that he never would have believed affordable. And he asks, how can you afford this? And she's like, those 2 paintings sold for a lot of money. And also, you would not believe the revenue from the rights. So everything gets printed on, like, she gets money from that. So when we see that later, it clicks with him that...
We're talking about a lot of money. And that also kind of ups the stakes of the sisters being...
Yeah, because that... he believes that's rightfully his money.
Yeah.
Maybe he even says something here, like, this should all be mine. I painted those paintings. Why don't I get a cent of it? And she's like, you can't even prove that you're you. You knew a nickname, but that's not enough.
I don't think he cares about the money. I think she does. She cares about, like, him getting what he deserves, and all he really wants to do is, like, paint until he gets tired and then nap in the afternoon sun.
Like a cat.
Exactly like a cat.
Okay, that changes the dynamic of the scene a little bit then. And not in a bad way.
Yeah.
He's, like, in awe of that, but he's mostly just surprised that people like his work. And he's proud of that. And it inspires him to, like, you know, grab a canvas and start painting again. And she's like, you know, if you really are who you say you are, you're entitled to some of this money. How do we prove that you're you? And he's just, like, painting away or whatever. And she's like, I could call my aunts. you remember Sally and Jenny or whatever. And he could scoff, like, oh, yeah, those bitches, you know?
I think even just backing up a second, if you are who you say you are, you're entitled to some of this money. He's, like, dabbing at the canvas. Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
We should see something in her face that's like, he doesn't give a shit about the money. Maybe he is this person. And that's when she's like, I could call my aunts.
You would be entitled to a piece of that money. Oh, really? Yeah, that's something like X amount million a year. He doesn't even look at her. He's just dabbing at the... That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice? Is that all you have to say? Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's all her wanting the money for him. Because she doesn't feel like she's earned it.
I think what really gets him to stop painting for a second is when she suggests calling in the aunts.
And he's just like, Sally and Jenny? Or whatever.
Oh, yeah, they live up on the 4th floor. But they're out in Egypt right now. They'll be back in, like, 10 days?
Like, she fully misinterprets him being like, not them, to be like, he's like, interested in it as like an option, but she's also like excited about it.
Yeah, they'll be back in like 10 days. We'll take you before a judge. They'll verify that you're you, and then we can get you what you're owed. We can set you up in a nice studio and have you paint. And he's like, I can paint anywhere.
We just need to prove and Sally and Aunt Sally and Jenny. Oh, not them. Yeah, them. Moppy's sisters? How did you know? Something like that.
Yeah. So she's starting to believe.
Aunt Sally and Jenny. Moppy's sisters? The gruesome twosome?
Smelly and fatso? Jenny's lost a lot of weight. Wait, how did you know she was fat?
If we're gonna have it be a reveal, I think she needs to have like the click and it to be like, oh, Sally and Jenny, and that's where he's like, ugh, Moppy's sisters? And that's where she's like, oh shit, he might be the real deal.
Again, I'm thinking of The Simpsons. I want that dynamic of they kind of hate him because, he was their sister's no good bum of a husband. And he kind of hates them because they've always been assholes to him.
Yeah. And I think we'll get that when we get them in the same room, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we should, see his aversion to them now.
Yeah.
Maybe all the way back in the before times when they have the fight, when she says, I'm going to go to my sister's, he can be like, ugh, the gruesome twosome. And then we pay that off again here.
I was going to say, like, oh, you're going to give them this for me, and then he farts. And as, in the future, as his daughter is like, oh yeah, Sally and Jenny, he just draws a turd in whatever sketch he's working on. Oh, Sally and Jenny. Turtle stink lines over it. Just really shit. So 8 days, give or take, before Sally and Jenny come back and we have our climax. I think what makes sense is to go back to his old routine.
I think for one.
Yeah. I think we need to revisit that. Like, he needs to reestablish his rhythm. But how does his daughter throw a wrench in it, right?
I think at one point, she needs to get the media involved.
Yeah. This is where we do what we talked about earlier with the, oh no, we already did that, never mind.
Already did what?
Where he goes to the bodega and it's like $2.50 instead of $1. But that was...
Yeah, that was still in the fish out of water getting established. I think maybe she while they're waiting for the sisters to get back, the daughter starts kind of doing the public pressure thing. So she gets, first a reporter from the National Enquirer, or, the Weekly World News.
Or that guy's, waiting when he gets back from his daily routine. And she's like, who's this? He's like, who's this? And she's like, so, now that you're alive and back, I called the press. And the only reporters that showed up are Steve from the National Enquirer and Gary from the Weekly World News. And they look exactly like you expect them to look. Chris Gethard is a stunt cast.
Chris Gethard and Mike Birbiglia.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, and why are they here? Why did you call them?
We need to tell your story. You fell, yeah.
Yeah. Tell my story?
Yeah, we need to, you fell asleep, woke up 20 years later as a famous artist. The world needs to know you're back. We can expect more paintings, or can we expect more paintings? The world wants to know what you've been up to for 20 years after you disappeared. What happened,
I think then he just kind of tells them, guys, I don't have any paintings. I'm working on it. and he like leads them out, and then hard cut to the front page of the Weekly World News the next day, and it's the headline of this, but it has to be a little bit ridiculous because it's Weekly World.
I was thinking Batboy Returns is the headline, and then in the corner, page 3, dead or missing painter found after decades, question mark. Like, he's not even headline, he's just in the corner.
No, I think he is headline because it's a movie about this. And the thing in the corner is, yes, he's back, and he's my lover. Shocking Batboy expose.
Disappeared painter found, subheader. Corpse, question mark, ghost, question mark, or demented old man, question mark.
Crazy old kook.
Crazy old kook, that's better.
I think it's on, like, day 3. He finds out about television.
And then spends days 4 and 5 just watching television and not finishing his painting.
Yes. And I think working on the painting, but also just like, have you seen this thing? There's so many things on it.
And what finally breaks him from the TV is a rerun. He's like, wait a minute, this happened yesterday. You're telling me it's not different every time? Oh, fuck this shit. Turns it off back to his painting.
Yes. Or maybe instead of that, what gets him off of TV is something like golf. Like he watches golf for a minute. He's like, okay, so then what? Do people actually watch this like all fucking day? Never mind. Like first he watches like PBS where they're showing like art.
I was gonna say, is it golf that turns him off, or is it Bob Ross?
I don't want to tarnish Bob Ross like that.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just imagining this idiot like, happy little trees, happy little... Sometimes the tree's gotta be sad, Bob. Clicks it off. Not tarnishing Bob Ross, but our character being a dick.
Do you want to fucking badmouth Fred Rogers while you're at it?
I did use a gif of him flipping the bird in a group chat the other day.
That's taken out of context. That video is adorable.
It's so funny when he's just like, ha ha! Anyway, so we have the TV interlude. I have an idea to get him back to the museum. His daughter talked to the curator at the museum. And if he could prove to the curator, like the curator wants to have an interview with him to see if he's the real deal, that once they can prove he's him, then he'll add the new art, or he'll buy the new art for the gallery, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he goes in and has his interview, and the curator is just asking random details about him, like personal details that would be from his diary. And this is how he finds out the diary was changed. Like, he gets things mostly right, but like his feelings about things are like a little different. Because his wife would have edited the diary to take like the bad parts out.
Oh no, I was thinking he didn't even put bad parts in. She had to make him interesting. So he like suddenly had a feud with Warhol that never actually happened. Or...
Ooh, so tell me about your feud with Warhol. What? Andy? He's the nicest guy!
Just like in the original, the 20 years is solid, but the actual dates are kind of fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be late enough in the 80s for Warhol to be dead.
We'd only have to wait another year if we were going 66 to 86.
Yeah, that's fine. We can futz it around.
So that we can have him meet his ghost in the MoMA.
After this,
I want him to be bothered by the concept of selling out. And that's what he talks to Warhol's ghost about.
I don't think this character that we've established would give a shit about selling out. Because, like...
He doesn't care about the money. He just wants to paint his paintings. He just wants to sit on his ass and paint. That's all that brings him joy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I think he needs to have this, like, little crisis of confidence, crisis of conscience, crisis of self here. So, yeah, after the interview goes poorly, he fails the interview on himself. He goes back out to his exhibit one last time. This is where he notices, like, the edits in the diary. Mm-hmm. And then he can have Warhol's ghost and have a conversation with Warhol's ghost.
It's kind of the other way around in terms of being concerned with selling out, because his daughter is pushing kind of hard for him to get money. And even way back in the day, the wife was always pushing to get money. Maybe I should be more concerned with selling out. Hey, friend of mine who was the creator of the pop art movement that sold a lot of tote bags and shit. What do you think about selling out?
Can you quickly Google if Andy Warhol ever said anything about selling out? The tack I was thinking of taking with it was he leaves the interview and he's disappointed that he failed, but he's not sure why he's disappointed. Because he doesn't care about the money. He could care less if another painting of his sells. He just wants to be able to paint them without being bothered and without having to worry about where he's going to eat. And he's wondering why this is eating him up so bad. And then through his conversation with Warhol, he understands that for the first time in his life, like, he loved his wife, but she didn't love who he wanted to be in the same way. But his daughter does. And he's more disappointed that he ruined it for his daughter than he is for himself. And I think that's the realization he needs to have with Warhol. Now, if Warhol ever said anything about selling out that we can use and combine these two, I would be grateful to find out.
So, art is what you can get away with. They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself.
That is a quote we will have Warhol say in this scene.
Being good in business is the most fascinating kind of art. Making money is art, and working is art, and good business is the best art.
Okay, that's interesting. When did he say that?
Success is when the checks don't bounce.
Okay, so yeah, in this conversation, I like the idea that you had, Mark, of like the maybe I should sell out. And in this conversation, he needs to realize it doesn't matter to him whether he makes money doing it or not, because it's still art. And Warhol can remind him of that, like, hey, if your checks aren't bouncing, you made it. And whether that means you got $1 million in the bank or just enough, that's success. But are you happy? Like, are you happy penniless? Are you happy rich? What makes you happy? And that's when you can realize, like, seeing my daughter proud of me makes me happy. Because I never got that with Moppy.
I also think it's a fun parallel to have both his daughter and his wife concerned with money, but his wife is concerned with the lack of it, and his daughter is concerned with the surplus of it.
Yeah.
That's a good arc.
Mm-hmm. Because his wife wants to take it, whether or not, like, I mean, she probably needs it on just whatever her salary is feeding two people.
Yeah.
Whereas his daughter wants to give it as well. There's also that dynamic with it.
Yeah.
But I think it's important in this scene for him to come to terms with that. It doesn't matter if he gets the money or not. As long as he gets to paint his paintings and his daughter is proud of him, then he's happy.
Yeah.
And a nice sunbeam to nap in wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. So I think he's walking home cheerful from this experience. And then when he gets home, Jenny and Sally are there. And do we want them to go full Patty and Selma with the slide projector and pictures of...
I think the thing with Jenny and Sally has to happen at the courthouse. I think for them to actually reconnect has to be at the courthouse.
I don't think we need to involve the court, because he doesn't care. And I think he needs to make it clear to his daughter that he doesn't actually care. He just wants to be here.
I'm just thinking in terms of, like, raising the stakes at the climax before we resolve it to he doesn't care about the money. And that's why I thought it would have to happen at something like the courthouse.
Yeah, I think I agree with Mark. I think we need to have a see, even if it's just like not even in a courtroom, but just like in an office with like what's the word I'm looking for?
Legal?
Notary?
Not legal. Like a notary or like a low-end government official in charge of death certificates or something. Like, to nullify this death certificate, I need this, this, and this.
In that case, I think we can have a scene with Patty and Selma, with Jenny and Sally here, where it's clear they recognize him, and the daughter recognizes that they recognize him, and it's just, like, the kind of, like, ancient hatred that is only between brother-in-law and sister-in-law that despise each other. And then when they get to the courthouse, they're like, I've never seen this man before in my life.
Yeah. So he comes in, they've got the slide projector up, pictures from their trip to, I said Nevada, Egypt. The daughter is looking bored, gets excited when he comes in. And then I want Niles Crane barbing back and forth between our painter and them. They're like, ugh, look what the cat dragged in. Well, if it isn't my two favorite toe warts. And like it's very clear they've been doing this shit to each other for years and they haven't skipped a beat.
He walks in, they see him, he sees them. They say, like, well, look what the cat dragged in. He said, oh, yes, I'll be with you in just a moment. He goes over to the telephone, picks it up and says, and phones don't work this way anymore. But, operator, get me the zoo. You need to send a keeper right away. 2 of your warthogs escaped. Yes, I'll hold.
All right, they go back and forth a few times. And I think here is where we can have an emotional climax. I think he needs to give a speech showing that he's changed. And so his daughter's like, when you two stop bickering, we need to talk about the courthouse tomorrow. Here's what we need to bring. and I need you two to come along and admit that he's who he says he is. Oh, we're not going to do that. No. If you had seen the way he treated your mother, he left her with nothing in the pantry, the smallest apartment in the worst neighborhood. His paintings weren't even that good. I feel like they can be mean about his paintings, and they can be the only ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he gives his appeal, and he's like, you know what? That's fine. If you don't want to vouch for me,
she says those paintings paid for this house.
Oh, the daughter?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, she's getting righteously angry on his behalf because she's like, those paintings paid for this house where you also live.
You just spent 3 hours showing me pictures of a trip that those paintings paid for. Or of a trip that his sketches paid for. Mirroring that sketch, like, the sketches don't pay rent.
Yes.
The sketches bought this house.
Yeah.
Coming back to that. Ooh, I knew I was cooking with that line earlier.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mark. I was cooking with that idea. The line was yours. You're right. We go back to that. And he separates them and says, enough. All I want to do is paint. I have a roof over my head, food on my plate, and a brush in my hand. Now, if you want to vouch for me at the courthouse tomorrow, great. If not, fine. I have more than I ever had before just having a daughter. That's all that matters to me. And then we can hard cut to I've never seen this man in my life, or build to that a little bit more. But
I think it's too much to ask to have multiple climaxes in a movie.
So just hard cut?
So I think hard cut to I've never seen this man before in my life.
Yeah, because at that only happens after he's established it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think
to the audience it doesn't matter anymore either. So,
I've never seen this man before in my life. I think he needs to be institutionalized for his delusions.
Wash him as well. He smells terrible.
Ma'am, I didn't need all that, but okay.
She pulls out like a notebook. I've got so many more insults.
No. Again, ma'am, a simple yes or no.
And, like, the daughter is, like, visibly upset in the background, but he's just like...
I want him to chuckle like that one was pretty good.
No, I want him to be asleep.
Just...
Fully leaning back, maybe with, like, a hat pulled down.
Asleep or doodling, like one of the two. Just completely non-engaged.
He's drawing really bad caricatures of them.
And then I think we need one last beat with him and her, where she apologizes for it not succeeding, and he does not care.
Yeah. He's like, I meant what I said last night.
I have a daughter who respects me.
Yes.
And now I get to spend the rest of my life getting to know you, and painting, and making people happy with my work. That's all I ever wanted. That and a nice, warm spot by the window to lay in when I'm sleepy. And then a little denouement. Fast forward 6 months, and he's opening his first gallery as himself. Or as his new name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rip Van Gogh.
Rip Van Gogh.
The student is there helping. The student from way earlier.
Yeah. We could even have that student like make a second appearance the second time he's at the museum, just to rule of threes him.
Yeah. Maybe he just calls him teacher.
Yeah, teach. Yeah, he's like apprenticing with him. Maybe even the student has a painting on display at the gallery as well.
I think instead of a denouement scene, it's more of a montage of him, like, painting in the park, leading a workshop on painting, opening the gallery, because I want the last beat to be him falling asleep in a sunbeam on a park bench.
Yeah.
With the daughter next to him.
I was going to say, in between, like, his painting-related ones, I want daughter-related ones as well.
Yes.
So, like,
cooking
they're taking a walk, they're cooking, they're seeing a play, you know, they're doing New York father-daughter shit.
Going through the museum.
Yeah.
And the final is them both napping in a sunbeam.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have something pretty solid here.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah. For a weird art thing based on a old colonial American story from upstate New York.
Yeah.
So first off, do we want to give characters names?
Is it too obvious to do Ripley Winkle? Like Ripley Winkle?
Ripley Winkleman?
Because I was just thinking Ripley Winkle is the same number of syllables.
I do think that it's too much.
Okay.
I think instead Ripley is his last name.
I was going to say Peter Eastman. Because Peter Laird and I think Kevin Eastman are the guys who came up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mark, did you have a suggestion?
So Ripley is his last name.
Yeah, I was thinking something like Kierkegaard Ripley, shortened to Kirk.
Kirk Ripley works.
But all his friends call him Rip.
Yes.
Only, not Van Gogh. Only the ghosts and Warhol call him Rip.
Yes.
Moppy calls him Kirk. Was Moppy short for anything, or was it just a nickname?
It's just a nickname.
Okay.
I mean, this is just for me as a joke, but her name is Ellen.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Elaine.
Elaine.
I like it. He calls her Moppy. The daughter, Jessica. It was just a really common name in the 80s.
I was going to say Courtney?
Courtney.
Judith.
Why Judith?
It is his married daughter in the original. Judith Gardenier. But also Judith is kind of a art girl name.
Could be Judy.
Yeah, I was going to say I want like an 80s.
Yeah, Judith, it doesn't feel 80s.
Like her name can be Judith, but she goes by Judy.
Yeah, just like his is Kierkegaard, but he goes by Kirk.
Okay. And I think that's it for naming characters.
I believe you're right.
So shall we start casting them?
Yeah.
I have a wild suggestion for Kirk.
Okay.
Woody Harrelson.
Not bad. Not far off from what I was going for. I was thinking Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman's real old, though.
Yeah. I like Woody Harrelson.
What if we don't use Gary Oldman for anything, what if we use him as like a stunt cast for the curator?
He could be Warhol.
Ooh, I like Oldman as Warhol. Mark?
I have an idea, and I just need to find the name. So please bear with me.
There's a bear with you?
Jason Schwartzman.
As Warhol?
And as Kirk. And Jake Ryan as young Kirk.
I don't know Jake Ryan.
Yes, you do. Asteroid City. Remember Asteroid City?
I've heard of it. Oh, yeah, he does look like a young
Him.
Jason Schwartzman. Although he's not that much younger than Schwartzman.
I keep saying it's not the number, it's what you can play.
Yeah.
Was he the cowboy in...
Jake Ryan? No, he was the boy. Brainiac?
Wait, what the fuck? There's an Australian actor named Jake Ryan who's 42, and then there's your Jake Ryan who's 22. He does look like a young Jason Schwartzman.
Which is why he was cast as Schwartzman's kid in Asteroid City.
Absolutely. I feel like he's too young. He looks too young. He needs to be in like his 30s. He's younger.
I was going to say, I don't hate the idea of Schwartzman, but I think we could do, if we do Schwartzman, he could just be both. He just make him grow a beard and shave a beard.
Yeah.
Okay. So Schwartzman for...
Or did we want Schwartzman as the museum curator?
I could also see Schwartzman as the fucking Warhol, let's be real.
Yeah.
The helmet shape. I kind of like the idea of Schwartzman as Kirk now, just because it's the opposite of the character mourning his dead wife in Asteroid City.
Huh? Alright. I'm down. We still want Gary Oldman as Warhol?
I kind of like it.
Just for fun, I'm looking who played Andy Warhol in the Weird Al movie. Yeah, let's not go with that. It was Conan O'Brien in the Weird Al movie.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Okay, hear me out. Either Elijah Wood or Daniel Radcliffe as the apprentice student.
No, the fucking Jake Ryan is the apprentice kid.
Okay, yeah, that works. And it's still the same rough color palette, so...
Yeah. We need a Moppy. And we should also cast her alongside Judy, because I want them to look similar.
Alright, babe. This is your time to shine. Your favorite woman that you love to suggest for every mom role.
Her name is escaping me. Rachel McAdams.
You had one job!
But who would be Judy then that looks like Rachel McAdams, plus Jason Schwartzman?
I mean, I feel like 18 is young enough we could still get away with a type.
Like, find a young actor that's not...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I think it's a big enough part that we can't do that.
What about...
Are we good with Rachel McAdams, though? For Moppy.
I need to look her up again. We're talking about the Rachel McAdams from Mean Girls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just so that I can get a clear picture of what she looks like today in my head. Because all of these pictures are from Mean Girls.
Look up Hey God, It's Me, Margaret.
Hey God, It's Me, Margaret?
Are You There, God, It's Me,
Are
Margaret?
You There, God, It's Me, Margaret? That's what it is.
The 2023 one.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that I've seen that, I can look for something like it.
Jenna Ortega.
Mae Martin?
Oh my god, yes! Yes, 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 yes. Mark, you have no idea why we're both so excited about Mae Martin. They were on season 16, I think, of Taskmaster.
Ah,
And, oh, they're great. Because they have a very 80s aesthetic, too.
okay.
I like it.
So we have Kirk, Moppy, Judy, the student guy, Andy Warhol.
Sisters-in-law.
Hmm.
Hear me out. One of them should be Gwendolyn Christie. Because that visual is hysterical.
Well, these are going to be Rachel McAdams' sisters.
I know.
But 20 years older than she will have been.
Yes.
So we need actors in their 60s-ish.
Okay.
Right?
So maybe not Gwendolyn Christie, unless we want to put her in old age makeup.
I don't mind that. I just need to look at... I just wanted to...
You know what? Hang on.
No, she works.
Give me a second. I have something that I think is cooking.
Okay.
Now, please let both of these still be with us. Joanna Lumley and Miriam Margolis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you pull those from?
My mind. James and the Giant Peach. They're the aunts.
Yep. I was like, I know these names. Why do I know these names?
I kind of want, like, some weird character actors for the ghosts.
I was going to say, do we want to do cameos for the ghost? Like, some stunt casts. But I think our big stunt cast should be the museum curator.
I feel like we could just yank a bunch of comedians for the ghosts, because, like, I could totally see, like, Paul Scheer, Jason Mantzoukas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
basically anyone you would see in the background of The Good Place.
Yeah. For the museum curator, I want it... We can do something with the casting where we build up to this character being met for the first time, and then it could be a punchline with who we cast. You know what I mean?
Playing it straight, I would say Ian McKellen or Patrick Stewart. Throwing a loop, I would say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dave Bautista.
I'm always a sucker for Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista it is.
With his gigantic body and his little walnut head.
Just throwing back to, like, how around that time in the 80s, Arnold Schwarzenegger started playing a geneticist. Or a... What did he do in Jingle All the Way? He was like a mattress salesman or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, this Austrian bodybuilder is just playing normal American roles. So yeah, Dave Bautista as the museum curator is perfect. I think that's a cast.
Okay. Title?
Rip Van Gogh is there.
Are there paintings with names about sleep?
Oh, tons, probably.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Johannes Vermeer called A Maid Asleep. What about An Artist Asleep?
That's almost too heady for, like, the tone of what we made.
The exact opposite of Sleepless in Seattle.
Awake in New York.
No, literally. New York is the opposite of Seattle, and he's asleep for 20 years. So we call it the exact opposite of Sleepless in Seattle.
So Rip Van Gogh it is?
No, we can do better. I hope.
I'm thinking of painting-related puns.
Oh, is this a thing?
A brushstroke of luck.
Portrait of the Artist in Repose.
Again, I think that's a little too heavy.
Yeah, it's... That title is good for a 2.5-hour drama, not our 90-minute fish out of water.
Nap Time in New York?
Sounds a little too much like an episode of a kids' TV show.
Yeah. The Big Sleep?
That's already taken.
Ah, shit. What's that Andy Warhol, like, 7-hour film called?
Oh, it's like the New York skyline. He produced more than 600 films.
Fuck.
Empire. Empire is the name of the one that is 8 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
What about The Master?
That's already a movie.
Fuck.
That's the Paul Thomas Anderson, definitely not Scientology, we swear movie.
God damn it, PTA. A sketch
This is a hard one to title.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's go with the sketch in time. And what's the poster?
No, there's a better pun. There's a better pun.
Well, 'cause I'm
think
thinking
of a poster.
I mean, the poster is him clutching his head, walking in front of the museum with his name on it. Because the thing I'm thinking of is a Stitch in Time.
Yeah. It's just, I feel like there's something right there. You know what I mean?
Blink and you miss it? No, that's more if we went in a different Rip Van Winkle direction.
Yeah. There's something with still life.
Oh.
Still life?
Yeah, still life.
There's double meanings there.
Yeah.
Yeah? Still life?
And the poster is him staggering in front of the museum where they have his name posted.
And I think the tagline is "Blink and you miss it."
Okay. When does this premiere?
I'm getting winter review. I'm getting February from this. February or possibly, like, December.
Yeah, this is like a family vibes movie.
Yeah.
So-
December.
Yeah, I was gonna say people seeing it over some sort of break.
Yeah.
All right, and that is Still Life, starring, what did we say, Jason Schwartzman and
Starring Jason Schwartzman, Rachel McAdams, Gary Oldman, Jake Ryan, Mae
and
Martin.
Mae Martin. And you can see it in theaters this December or February. This has been The Treatment, a podcast about stories, and we've been your hosts, Mark Lucas,
Billy Beck.
And Cody Beck.
and we'll see you at the movies.